From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a special encore edition of Mornings LALATE with a special breaking news report minutes ago. July CPI released, and what did it reveal? We knew it was coming on August 10th. We knew it was the major number of the month. We knew it was coming in, and we were waiting to see whether inflation has peaked. What happened with that number? Going into today's announcement, the May CPI read was an 8.7. The June CPI released in the month of July was a 9.1. Wall Street was looking for an 8.8 today. That was our expectation going into the market. Some analysts, like Kathy Wood of ARK Investment, said that inflation had peaked. A lot of people had said inflation had peaked. And the CPI number was predated with the producer consumption expenditure number last Friday that showed inflation had not peaked. Moreover, we had those major comments from the Fed governors, including Bauman, on Saturday that said she needs to have inflation down dramatically, systematically, continuously, not just a little pop downward across the board. So the number came in minutes ago, and it impacts your benefits. Immediately out was the analysis from the people who track your benefits, because this is SSI, Ssdi, Social Security and Railroad benefits, to go over how much your benefits would go up based upon the data. But you know how it works. We need 3 months of data, not just today. We need July's number released today. We need August number released in September. And we need the September printed thereafter. Big news across the board. Also big news because there's a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. We're going to go over the raise of your benefits. We're going to go over the CPI released minutes ago. We'll go over what the Federal Reserve is going to do with this. And we're going to go over your forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. It's the biggest week that there was, and it's just getting started today. The biggest week heats up across the board as more data was expected tomorrow. The PPI comes in thereafter. The reaction from the Fed governors is expected as well. And then we have the latest details on what's going to happen with retail sales. Why were the numbers confusing, and why was the analysis so confusing? It's a special encore edition of Mornings LA with noontime pushed back 1 hour later, because I don't want you to miss the two shows. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, it's a major breaking news report. It's special on LA, and it's right here, right now, for August 10th, 2022. It starts this morning. And good morning, everybody. Let's look and see what went on going into today's number. Back in the month of May, June, inflation continued to peak. And the numbers that last came in for the CPI in the month of July were the following. Let's look at them right now. The CPI beat on July 13th, coming in at a whopping number, the highest we'd ever seen in a print. And then the PPI beat thereafter. The retail sales print across the board rose dramatically. In the days that follow, we had the producer consumption expenditure that showed inflation was still going up. And this is big news for your benefits. Why? Because your benefits are impacted by this. Let's look at what happened. Back in the month of May, that CPI that month surged very high and went to an 8.7 print. 8.6 print for the month of May, released in June. Then the June number came in whopping at 9.1%. Coming in today, the predictions for July's number for August 10th, released today, was to be an 8.8 print. Remember, this raises your benefits up a lot. We'll go over the calculation of that in a second. And immediately when this number came out, the analysis started to come out from those Social Security administrators or private groups saying how much your benefits are going to go up. A lot of money on the table here, a lot of big questions. Let's go over everything that's happening. Of course, we're then going to go to your forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. We're going to go to the unemployment coming in on Thursday. I'm going to go over why the number today was what? Not much of a surprise. Not much of a surprise? Oh my goodness, that was the biggest tease ever. Like, yeah, I can be a tease. I can be a tease. So what went on with this number? The big number that came in, again, let's go over what we're looking at. May was an 8.6% CPI number. June was a 9.1. And what was today's number? It was 8.7. There you go. So just a little bit less than what Wall Street expected, 8.8, and just a little bit more than May. So we're still higher than May. Yeah, we're still higher than May. So we're lower than June, but we're higher than May. And it's basically, in my opinion, an almost insignificant number. Would you call it flat? Let me go into the details of the number first before we go into the analysis, because this is what we do on this channel. Data first, analysis thereafter. So how do we get an 8.7 where we're lower than last month at 9.1, but still higher than May of 8.6? Let's jump into the core numbers because this is very important first. When you exclude food and energy, and I'm going to go back to energy in a second, the CPI rose 5.9% year to date, so that's not good at all. And it did rise monthly compared to last month. Okay, so it's actually up. The overall number is up month to month. That shows inflation is going up. When you look at the core of the number, it's actually up compared to the month of June. And then when you compare it to other items, it's up 6.1 and 0.5. Now, the jump in the food index puts the 12-month increase in the CPI at now 11%. And this is the highest print since 1979. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's up a lot. I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah, you can believe it's butter because guess what? Butter's up 27% year to date, 26.4% year to date, and eggs have surged 38%. I'm not surprised. I mean, eggs were not cheap in Los Angeles because we don't have a lot of cows except when they're on set here. And that cow, wait, eggs from cows. I just messed that up. Eggs do not come from cows. So, yeah, it's an early morning, isn't it? Yeah. When the broadcast is telling you eggs are coming from cows, yeah, just trust me on CPI. Don't just trust me on farming. The coffee's up 20% more today. Yeah, that's what we need more across the board. Now, when you, despite the drop of energy, which we're going to get to in a second, which is gasoline, you knew gasoline went down. We've been tracking that for a few days now. International price of Brent crude, by the way, at the moment is about 98. It's up in the last 24 hours. It was 94 the day before, but that's a lot down because it was 105 the month before. When you exclude oil, then what's happening to electricity? Electricity's up 1.6% compared to last month. Yeah. You're running that AC to keep the house cool. You're running the fans. I'm running the fans. And then what about compared to a year ago? Electricity's up 15%. 15% in 1 year? Ouch. Energy costs rose 32% year to date, 33% year to date. So there you go. Don't just look at the top line number. Don't look at the overall CPI number and say, you know, it came down a little bit, but it's still higher than the month of May. No, it is still up month to month on most of these numbers. So no time for celebration, no time to claim inflation's peaked. Has inflation peaked? No, inflation's not peaked. Now, let's go into some interesting numbers. You've seen me cover travel and leisure doing really well. We cover it every day with the earnings beat of the cruise companies like Royal Caribbean. If you're watching the show later in the day on the live feed, you'll see the Royal Caribbean in the ticker tape below. It's up every single day. Hilton's been up. The airlines have been up. So travel and leisure is up. And so but airline fares did pull off about 2% month to month. But they're up 8% year to date. I think they're up more than 8% personally. Used car prices pulled back about a half a percentage point, and so did transportation services. Now, when you look at some of the interesting figures, here we go. Gasoline obviously is up year to date. It's up 44% year to date. And again, you know gasoline is part of the CPI. But when you look at the month-to-month decline, it's 11% decline since the month of July. That's not a surprise. You're a member of this channel. You are a member of this channel. If you're not, go right in this video, become a member right today, because this is in the membership newsletter every single night. You need to know these numbers. You need to know what's going off oil. I don't care what you're doing with your life. I don't care if you're retired, if you work, if you have a car, if you don't have a car. You need to know the price of oil, because the price of oil impacts every person on SSI or SSDI, retired, working or not. You have that in the membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So gasoline is up 44% year to date, but and its increase and fuel oil is up 78% year to date, but it's down 11% for the month. Fascinating. Now, I'm going to give you exactly what people like Lingland and Diane and Gail asked for, the core numbers that make up this massive CPI print. Those core numbers are hideously important. Which items do you think? Jump in the live chat right now if you're in there. Which items do you think are up from last month, and which items do you think are down? Obviously, we know gasoline's down, but which items do you think are up compared to last month? Have you noticed in the stores? Have you noticed shopping around? Well, let's go over those items right now. First, let me go over the annualized. Let me give you a harder question. Let's see if you can get this one. Which item is up the most year to date? Not month to date, because I don't want to confuse. We're just saying month. This is year to date. Which items are up most for the month, for the year to date? I think you'll guess the number one. That's easy. Yeah, gasoline. It's up 44% year to date. What's the number two highest increase up year to date of an item that makes it part of the CPI? If you guessed travel, you got it right. Airline fares are up 30%, 27.7%. Electricity is up 15.2%, but here you go. I got to tell you, and you're very smart about this. It's the summer, AC, but in the winter, a lot of you heat the home with an electric heater, and those items could change across the board. Food at home is 13%, new vehicles 10%, and if Crayola is on the live chat, he'll love this one. Beer is the lowest one up here today. It's only up 4.6%. So don't bring a Crayola. Beer is only up 4.6% year to date, so don't bring the comment. It ain't going to work. It's the lowest increase year to date. So there you go. Patron that. Let's go to the analysis. So the analysis, of course, is your benefits. Let's go over first. First, I have to explain the benefits lift. And then I'll go over the analysis because we put data first, and then we go over the analysis. Your benefits are tied to something called COLA, COLA, and it's determined by another number, and that number is the CPI-W for 3 months. The month of July just released in this report, the month of August, and the month of September. We need 3 months of data, and we got the first month of data right here, right now, in this breaking news report you're watching on LALATE this morning for August 10th. The CPI-W is a part of the CPI, and you know now that the CPI came in really basically flat, 8.6, month of May, 9.1, month of June, 8.8 for the data released today. So you need to see 2 more months of that data relatively flat, and if it is, your benefits are going up an enormous amount. Now that you understand the implication of why inflation and this report is so important for you, especially if you're on SSI and SSDI, let's go over the calculation. Now that you understand the inflationary story, the 3 months we're watching, now let's jump into the actual calculation of those numbers right now. So your benefits need to see 3 months of data. The first month of data is this breaking news report right now. That's why we've been on top of the subject matter. About $5,000 across the board. Some people less, more. We'll go over that in a second. And why are we watching today's report so importantly? Because this, my friends, is the July number. Today, this breaking news report you're watching right now on August 10th, shortly after 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, is the July number. We need the August that will be released a month from today, and the September number released a month thereafter. All right, let's go over what you need to know with the data, and then I'll go over the analysis shortly thereafter. So on the data, direct deposit, automatic to your money? Yes. You don't have to do anything for this. This is automatic. So you receive your benefits in the mail, otherwise by direct deposit. Number 2, who? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad Benefits. A question I haven't gotten asked, but I know I would be asked it, so I won't let me preempt it. If you're not on benefits but about to go on benefits, it impacts you as well. It's for anyone on benefits or about to go on benefits. And also if you're on multiple benefits. Number 3, the same $5,000 for everyone? No, some less, some more. It depends on how much you make currently. And then the same percentage raise? Absolutely. The same percentage raise for everyone across the board. Now, what do we have on analysis today? Analysis is the Seniors League, featured previously on this channel. It's a private organization, and they look at the data. We have not yet heard from the Social Security actuary, Steve Goss, yet. I'm looking for his quote. It may come out later today. When we had the June number, Goss said the raise would, I think he said 8%. I think he said the raise was going to be 8% when the June print was a 6.6. Remember, excuse me, when the June print was a 9.1. 9.1, he said, I think he said 8%. So today's number you just saw was an 8, was a high 8 number. Today's number was a high 8 number on that CPI print. And so does that correlate into the exact same number for the raise of your benefits? This is analysis. It's not data. It's analysis. People may disagree. Again, today's CPI print came in at 8.7. Does that mean your benefits are going to go up 8.7? It depends on who's doing the analysis. The Seniors League of America says no, that based upon the current number, they think your benefits are going to go up 10.1%. This is a breaking news report minutes ago. They believe that the COLA will come in at 10.1% because, and then they said if inflation actually gets weaker, it will still be 9.3%. Fascinating. So let's say it again, because this is analysis again, it's not data. You're not quoting this, you're not taking this to the bank, this is just analysis. This is not a reality yet. They believe, based upon this CPI print that came in for the month of July today, at an 8.7, that your benefits would get a 10.1 raise, and that if inflation does cool down in the next 2 more months, because remember you have 2 more months of data, the August and September, then your raise would be a 9.3. So what's interesting about what they're saying is that if the CPI is an 8 something, your benefits are not going up an 8 something. They're going up more than that number. So it's very, very fascinating. They say based upon an 8 something, today's an 8.7, then your benefits are going up 10.1. If inflation cools, which I guess they basically say like a 7% CPI print, then your benefits will go up at 9.3. That is their analysis. I don't know their track record. I don't know how good they are, but they're cited a lot, so they must be good. Now, do I agree with them? Here is LALATE's analysis. Well, it has to stem from what you believe is going to go on with inflation. Do you think that inflation is pervasive? Do you think inflation has not peaked? Do you think that inflation will go up? Do you think inflation will go down? First, I think what you got to do is what Gail and Lynn Glenn and Diane were doing was looking at those core numbers. You know, when we talk about a headline number, it's really hard to say, hey, inflation's peak. I bit my tongue because I was about to quote one analyst who I don't agree with her, and that's basically what I think she does, but I'm not going to mention her by name. So I would rather look into the data. Do I believe when I look at those leaders that are driving up the inflation right now that they're going to cool down or they're actually going to get worse? Why don't you help me on this one? Jump in the live chat. Let's go over it right now. Let's go over, we're in August. What do you think is going to happen in September, October? Do you think the numbers are going to go up or lower? First, airline fares, 27.7%. Do you think they're going to go lower or stay the same or higher? I guess you have 3 choices. Lower, higher, or stay the same. Right, air, lower, higher, or stay the same. I'm going to say air, the same. I'm not a fan of airlines. I don't think you are. We covered them a lot in 2021. You are not a fan of them either. And I think their opportunity to keep the price up is going to keep the price up. Whether the costs for them are down or they're going to keep the price up. I think they love these high prices. They love to make a lot of money. So I don't think the airfares are going to go down at all. Electricity. I think this is an easy one for us to agree upon. It's August, but everyone spends a lot more money on utilities in the winter, whether it's heating oil, or gas, or electric. And if it's 15% in the summer, which obviously is air conditioning, then do you think it's going to be higher, the same, or weaker in the fall? I think it's going to be a lot higher. Food at home, new vehicles, food away from home, used cars, shelter, apparel. I really don't have an opinion about those. I'll just sort of skip over them. I just think that there's a lot of fluctuation to them. And that's not something I can predict about this. Beer. Maybe in Craylville will go up. I had to put that in there. So there you go. Now, so with that, this is really good news for your benefits. Now, this is why you tune to this channel. Why? Because you need a forcible check in every U.S. state. And you also need to understand what the Fed governors said before today's comments, before today's numbers. Here's a preview of what's coming up in the big second half. In the big second half, we go over what the Fed governor said, what this number would likely be, and what they would likely do. This is where it's critical to stay the second half, because they gave you a complete roadmap. Don't deal with the analysts. Don't deal with the analysts on this one because they were right out saying inflation speak this morning. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. It's laughable because the Fed governors, no less than Sunday and Saturday this last weekend, when broadcasters' studios were closed and this office was opening another studio because we have 2 new channels coming for you, I was running their quotes. They told you what they're going to do based upon today's number. I'll go back over their comments and analyze it for you in the big second half. But first, we're going to get some forced stimulus checks. You deserve these forced stimulus checks because guess what? It's a confusing economy. And those forced stimulus checks are absolutely incredible. Members are doing so well. Have you become a member? Go right in this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. If you're a member, you would have gotten an alert that this is a special breaking news report, and that alert would have been sent to you via the member alerts on YouTube. That is why you don't want to miss a breaking news report like this. You're not going to see the breadth, the depth, the coverage, or the analysis. I got to tell you, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I am bringing to camera a lot more than the number 1 and 2 broadcasters are today. They literally had 150 words on the subject matter, and they just ran with it, and that was it. There's a lot between the subject matter, and all of it involves, of course, that financial cliff. Let's go over those incredible forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state, and why you want to get them, and why they're so great across the board. Those forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state were done by executive action of Joseph Biden in the month of March, and you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 or less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, go get it. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, go get it as well. It's about $100,000. It's a series of different checks. We're going to go over all these incredible checks in the big second half. These incredible checks are for you. You deserve them. Viewers are getting them. We have big success stories. We're going to go over those worksheets in a second. And you want to become a member to get these incredible checks. How do you do it? You go on this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP, and let's go over those incredible worksheets starting right now. You know, it's so important to listen. Right on the live feed that just ended, there was one person who was in the live feed said, where are the worksheets located? You got to really listen. I mean, I say it 1,000 times a day. I say 1,000 times a day over all the different broadcasts on the live feed that airs on loop. I say the worksheets are in the newsletter, down around the third line. I see it every single day. You really got to listen. If you miss something, remember the great benefit of a streaming platform is you can take that little toggle on the screen and pull it back. All right, let's go over those incredible worksheets. The worksheets, again, are down around the third line of the newsletter. When you get the newsletter, I'll go over that in a second as well. Let's go over the first page. So this is the important one today. Inflation. What did we learn today? Inflation came to an 8.7%. I'm still looking down the number because I got to make sure I remember it. 8.7% for the month of July. That is higher than the month of May at an 8.6, but lower than the month of June of a 9.1. Recession. Providing we have time for recession, we'll go over it in the second half. Otherwise, we'll leave it for afternoons. LA. The 2 camps. 1, that there is no recession. Number 2, there is a recession. It's going to be very deep. I'm from camp 2. Number 3, labor. Well, we need to see those jobless claims number on tomorrow. It was 260,000 last week, the highest number of 2022. I'm projecting to go higher. Meantime, we had the non-farm payroll number released last Friday, the lowest unemployment rate since 1969. That's the headline number you want to watch for. We'll have more analysis about that on prime time tonight in evenings. Federal Reserve, we're going to go over them in the big second half. They are not going to be happy with today's number. They need this number down a lot. Where do they need it? They want it down by 2 to 2%. But presumably, once they get to 3 or 4%, things will be changing. Anything in the 8s is just not working for them. They're not happy campers. Now, one of the greatest benefits of these worksheets, these are all unique to LA. This is why this is the number 3 most watched financial news channel, expanding to number 2, is this. It's this wonderful table for you to keep track of your stimulus checks that you apply for, because you got a lot of applying to do. And let's go over the success stories. One viewer got 12 months of utility checks this last week. Another viewer got 14 months of rent checks. You all got utilities. You all got rent or mortgage. And that is how this channel is winning. This is how you're winning by becoming a member. Imagine 14 months of rent. That is a lot of money. Now, a wonderful viewer named Spelly, he got check A, and he also got check C. And he says stay with it, because ultimately when you're doing these applications, they may say you did something wrong. Just stay with it. Do it right away. One viewer sent me a beautiful message on Facebook the other day, said, should I apply for this? Should I apply for that? Don't do that. Just apply. Read the newsletter, read their website. If it looks like you should apply, apply. Don't wait for me to respond because I may be too late. Every day that passes is days that people are getting in front of you to get stimulus. Don't let that happen. Just apply. And then a wonderful viewer from the state of Florida. She used the worksheets. She just forgot she used it. And what did end up she getting? 80 to 100 checks. You heard me right. 80 to 100 checks, and this could be you. This is monster sums of money. It's not a rare occurrence. It's happening all the time. She applied for Check B, which we're going to go over a second with you on this channel after the commercial break. She applied for Check B, and what happened? She got that little email 2 Thursdays ago, said, ma'am, you've been approved. Congratulations. But the story gets better. She got approved for her mortgage. Wow. And the story gets even better. 18 months of her mortgage. 18 months of her mortgage, that is tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands of dollars because she became a member of this wonderful Purple Power community, as you should as well. It gets better than that. She also applied for all her utilities. All her utilities, that's about 4 months of checks, 4 checks per month, plus her mortgage, that's 5 checks per month. You can do the math. 5 checks a month, approximately times 18 months. That is 80 to 100 checks. Wow. You should be doing the same. Go right in this video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. In prime time tonight on Evenings LA, we will be going over the next pages of the worksheet, which of course are gas prices, your benefits raise, and student loan debt forgiveness. Your benefits raise, of course, we went over it already. Use what you learned in the earlier part of this recording with the Seniors League, with them saying that number. I'll give it back to you again right now. Put it into the worksheets on that table. That table has a place for you to calculate possible raises of your benefits. So you can write those down right today. I'll give you those numbers again. Seniors League is saying, based upon today, they're thinking a 10.1% raise of your benefits. So put that in the table. Put that as one of the possibilities. It's just analysis, it's not fact. As a possibility. They say inflation, if inflation cools, it could be 9.3%. I think it's going to be higher. I think it's going to be higher. But it's all dependent on those energy costs. I think those energy costs could be a shocker this winter. And ultimately, if you think so too, put that down as another permutation on your table. But maybe put down 11% on your table and see all the different possibilities of how much your benefits will go up. Remember, that's a lifetime increase of your benefits across the board. In the big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks one at a time. Plus, we'll be going back to the CPI print and what it means for you and your money. And we'll go over all those incredible checks that people are getting. You should be getting as well. That is why you want to succeed on this channel. Become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Thank you for joining me on this special report. A special edition of Mornings LA. Again, noontime has been pushed back 1 hour later. And the live feed will pick up again if you're not watching already. But become a member. I'll see you back in 60 seconds. But first, here's a commercial break about the community page.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues in a big second half of Mornings special report. If you're just joining me, this is a special breaking news report about the CPI print released minutes ago. Thank you to Barbara Romero for that beautiful super chat in the live chat right now. We saw some great questions that came in additionally from viewers like Lynn Glenn that says, I hope benefits go up. Well, they're definitely going to go up. We know that. That is a definite rise. And remember, when they go up lifetime. So this rise will be lifetime. And if they go up next year, it goes up on top of that. So we definitely are going up. The question is how much. In this big second half, we're going to go over those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You qualify. Become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. And in the big second half, I have a second part I'm going to go over with your Medicare benefits to the extent that I can explain it and what that is impacted with today's breaking news across the board. These 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state are the only 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. There are no other checks out there, and there won't be any for this summer. I've been getting them since the month of March for wonderful viewers. Hopefully you become a member if you haven't joined this wonderful Purple Power community right today. These are a series of checks done by the President of the United States in the month of March by executive action. Didn't need an act of Congress. Viewers at the time said, "LA, can you find us some checks?" And I did. I had 2 focuses at the time: make sure they're big amounts, and number 2, make sure they're great eligibility. We got it. About $100,000 across the board. Number 2, broad eligibility. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you're on benefits, you're not on benefits, go get it across the board. A series of different checks of a series of different places to reach out to. There's a lot of different checks and a lot of different places. We're going to go over all those incredible checks starting right now. They're all for members in that membership newsletter delivered Monday through Friday. Let's go over the first check starting right now. It is a $6,500 to $12,000  4 stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. How do you get it? Step 1, go under the video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Go down to where it says Check A. Click the link. It sends you right into the nationwide website and apply. Nationwide website, then choose your state, then choose the weatherizing grant, and then apply. This is the wonderful check that Spelly got. Number 2, go get Check B. Check B is a $15,000 to $80,000  4 stimulus check in every U.S. state. This is the check that gave that viewer 80 to 100 checks in Florida. How do you get it? Step 1, go into this video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Then get that incredible membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the member alerts delivered to you. Remember, become a member and stay a member. You cannot miss anything that's going on with this economy. There's a lot going on, and that is why you want to become a member. Welcome to all the brand new members that joined in the last 24 hours, over a couple hundred. Thank you to all the returning members and for all the people that upgrade from Purple Hawk to Purple Power and similar. Go down to where you see Check B, click the link, it goes right into the nationwide website, go get it across the board. Check C is a wonderful $2,000 monthly stimulus check, but in many cases a lot more money than that. Most viewers are averaging about $45,000. A lot are getting over $150,000. How do you get it? Step 1, go under the video and become a member. Go down the newsletter and it tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. For the case of Check C, you're making phone calls. Let's see what the success stories of Check C have yielded for viewers on this channel. It is the residue of third stimulus, and that is why these numbers are still working. From Nisi at $20,000 to $30,000 to $27,000 for Elizabeth. Go get this Check C for rent. Do you want these numbers for utilities? Then go get some utility assistance from Check C. From Angela to Nancy and Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000. Same brother-in-law is getting $250,000 over 10 years, and then combinations. Wow. Nisi, combination of these different checks has gone from $23,000 to $50,000. Mark has gone from $32,000 to $166,000. This is when he went to 50, then he went to 100, then he went to 166. Lorraine, she was at 105, then she went to 155. Common occurrence by all those viewers is they're always in the live chat. I see the people in the live chat right now. You are great. You knew this was a special breaking news report. You knew this is something you needed to know. You knew that this impacts your wallet, your family, your livelihood. You needed to hear it as soon as it happened. And thank you for being in the live chat. This is how this channel works. Breaking news 74 hours a day, 24/7. Yeah, don't want to add any more days to the dates. And long enough days already. You don't want to miss anything. Step 1, go on this video, subscribe. Step 2, go into the video, hit that button, and become a member. Join the channel, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Number 3, get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alerts. Let's look at that newsletter right now. That newsletter is delivered via the YouTube alerts Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is a different time zone for some of you if you don't live on the West Coast. Let's look at the graphic right now. The LALATE newsletter is delivered, again, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On the East Coast, that's 10 o'clock. On the Central, it's 9, via the YouTube alerts. What is a YouTube alert? This is one by email. See the title. For members only, new LA posts. See the time, 7 p.m. See the sender, YouTube. Who wrote it? I wrote it. See the first line. You can't miss this. This is so obvious. It has those 4 mailbox emojis. And it says LA newsletter today. Pretty obvious. To distinguish it, you also distinguish it by the time. It's sent automation. So it arrives exactly on the money. Go down past the guy with the surfboard. Go down past the guy in the surfboard. Lower in this alert. This is the alert. There he is, past him. And then there's a button that says View Post. Click it and View Post, and you go right and get those incredible sums of money. You deserve those sums of money. Get them right today. And become a member. And welcome to all the incredible members across the board. It's a big week, and we're just getting started, but I want to go over the other major element of today's news, which is what the Federal Reserve governors said less than 7 days before today about today's breaking news. First, I want to go to Bowman. Bowman is the most direct, the most specified, and the most detailed in her comments. She made the following comments on this last weekend. And the Fed governor basically is one of many of the governors of the Federal Reserve who ultimately vote on what to do. And when you hear a repetition of them all saying the same thing, it means that's what they're going to be doing as a team. What was Fed Reserve Governor Michelle Bowman's comments last Saturday? She said, my view is that we should see similar sized Federal Reserve increases on the table as the last month was. The last month was 75 basis points. So she says we should see the same on the same table until we see, this is the part of the sentence you want to focus on, inflation declining in a consistent, well, this is the only first decline, so it's not consistent, this is only the first decline, meaningful, this sure ain't meaningful. Don't play that game with me. This is not a meaningful drop. Another word for that is significant or a sizable drop. From 9.1 to 8.7, that's nothing. That is basically flat. It's still higher than May. And in a lasting way. They don't want to last at 8.7, so we're 0 for 3. Hence, this is not an inflationary CPI number that the Federal Reserve wants to keep at all. Again, it needs to be consistently down. Well, there's only 1 month down. Meaningfully down. Well, this is not. This is just barely a blip. It's almost flat. It's almost like that. And lasting way down. No, this is not where they went to last. They went much more down. And she says, if you don't do this, we basically go into an economic meltdown. Now, let me explain to you why Bowman's comments are so helpful. They're so helpful because the analysts out there, you see why I'm pausing. You know me long enough. You're watching my eyes. And you see why I'm pausing, because I'm about to tear them apart. I'm about to tear apart those analysts. The analysts, even one of the, I don't want to give her away, even one of the analysts, I'll just say it's her, one of the analysts today said inflation's peaked. Come on already. Inflation's not peaked. That's so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. Inflation's peaked? No. 8.7 is higher than 8.6, and we're higher than the month of May. No, inflation's not peaked. But even if inflation has peaked, let's say this is the highest number you're ever going to see for the history of this channel. Let's say this is the highest number you're ever going to see. To think that this is the end of the cakewalk for the Federal Reserve is ridiculous. Last week, a gazillion analysts were saying inflation's peaked, and 70% of analysts polled said that the next interest rate spike of the Federal Reserve would be the final one, and 50 basis points. I heard the quote. I heard the report. I thought it was a prank. I thought it was so ridiculous. And guess what Daley, the Fed governor out of San Francisco, and Boulard, who's very blunt, out of St. Louis, said? They basically said, without using their words, because it's the tone of the language, who are these ridiculous people saying this? Did we ever said we were going to stop doing interest rate spikes? We're going to do one more and we're done? We never said that. Did we ever say that we're going to come down on our interest rate spikes and do weaker ones like 50 basis points? We never said that. Where are you getting this from? They're equity traders. They're trying to get you to buy stocks. They're trying to get a rally of stocks up, and they're trying for you to buy stocks. And it's those equity traders and those equity and portfolio managers that they all want you to buy stocks. And yeah, a lot of stocks have rebounded a lot. Yes, a lot of stocks are up since the month of June. Yes, a lot of stocks are doing really well, but a lot are not doing well. And if you're in a recession, then guess what? Stocks don't go down 23%, they go down 54%. And if those stock traders are telling you that the good times are here to come, we're done with the bad times, that is only Camp 1. And tonight on Ian's LA, we're going to go over Camp 2, and most viewers agree with Camp 2. Who are Camp 2? The bond traders, with the yield curve inversion worse since Friday's number. Number 2, the oil traders, believing that a recession is here, and that's why the price of gasoline is down. Number 3, me. I don't believe that a recession never occurred, and I don't believe a recession has ended either. I believe that a recession will be pervasive. Why? Because the Federal Reserve is going to raise rates again. Last week, I said it was going to be 75 basis points for the next increase from the Federal Reserve in the month of September when they returned. At the time, 30% of people polled said 75 basis point with me. The rest said, no, he's wrong. It's 50 basis point and one more time, and that's it. Now, they all believe it's 75 basis point. See what they're trying to do? They're trying to buy into a positive motif, a positive narrative, until they get bad data, and they're like, okay, whatever, I guess it's 75. But come back to me later, because I'll just try to twist again and say it's really good, and then, no, it's going to be 75. And guess what Bowman says? You got to get inflation down significantly, dramatically, and keep it down. What does that mean? Let me give you clarity of what she's looking for. She is not looking for an 8% number. She's not looking for 7%. She's looking for 4%, 3%, 5%. And so when we're talking about these massive 8% numbers, folks, that's like the Federal Reserve saying, okay, but we got a lot of work to do. That ain't going to work. 8% inflation is not going to work. Now, one of the reports I wanted to bring on camera, and I saw it rushing in here, and I lost it. So I want to find it for tonight. Was a number in the CPI print that talked about wage inflation. Yeah, you learned about this 2 days ago. I did as well. It's a complicated issue. Wage inflation, according to this report, because I read it very quickly, showed that wages went up month to month. Hold up. If wages went up month to month for the month of June to July, they went up. That's a problem. I know it's sad to say it's a problem, but it's an economic problem. Why? Because here is what an analyst told us the day before, and it's data. It's analysis, but it's correct data. He said, let me use my hands. If inflation is going down, like clothing, gas, and wages are going up, trouble? Yeah, you can't afford the wages. If inflation is going down, you can't afford the wages. He says they have to go the opposite direction. Basically, what he said is, if you want to get to a 4% CPI, you got to get wages down to a 2%. If you want to get to a 5% CPI, you have to get wages to a 3%. The wage increase needs to be lower than the CPI increase, meaning that the wages need to go down for the CPI to go down. And the problem today, CPI went up. I just messed that up. Problem today is the CPI went down and the wages went up. The wrong directions, folks. The wages cannot go up while the CPI goes down. That is going to cause financial meltdown. You can't have that. So this is why it's critical, and there's so much going on. Finally, the last thing I want to end with. I often have seen these comments over the last year, and I've often sort of brushed them off because I don't understand them. No, I don't understand the industry. I understand the comments. I understand the industry. And I saw a report today. I read it. It's above me. I can't follow it. Let me tell you what it's about. It's Medicare benefits. And I'm not a Medicare benefit aficionado. I don't track it. I don't understand it. Let me just tell you what I can understand from the report. First, benefits, the amount you pay for medicine is going to be coming down if that bill, which I'm not covering, is passed in Congress, which is not passed yet. If that bill is passed, then the amount you pay for your out-of-pocket is going to come down. Does that make part of the equation complicated? Yes. Next part of the equation that makes it complicated. A lot of the viewers have different type of Medicare plans. So some of you are Medicare Part A, some of you are Medicare Part B, and how the CPI affects B versus A is what I could take from the article is very different. So let me give you the broad reaction from me. First, please do not post in the live chats, but all the increases we'll have for our benefits will be taken out for insurance. Please don't write that, because that was absolutely one thing that was completely clear from the article. A lot of you have different type of benefits. You don't have the same plans. So if you write that, someone else may be on a different plan. They may take that as being their plan. It's not their plan. So please don't write that. Number two, even if you all are on the same plan, we have this strange permutation percolating about the medication costs coming down. And third, there's a whole other part of the article that I don't even follow. So please try to keep it off the chat. Please try to keep it off the live chat that you don't like thousands of dollars more in benefits per year because you think it's being taken off for health. It's not necessarily so, and it's 100% not necessarily so for every other viewer in the live chat across the board. So I think that's the best polite way to be respectful to other people in this channel, because they're not all similarly situated. We don't all this, not you, I'm not obviously on Medicare. You don't all have the same Medicare plans, and we don't know what's going on with this prescription medication bill. It just makes it all so complicated across the board. And to the extent that I can figure it out even clearer for you in the days to come, I will do that as well. Coming up next is noontime at a later time at 12 noon today. The live show will pick up again as well. You may be watching this live feed. And then we go into our afternoon's program at 1, 3, and a brand new evening's LA at 5 o'clock. Thank you for joining me on this special breaking news report. I appreciate your comments. And a lot of people had some great comments in there about which items you thought were going to go up and down. I read them during the commercial break. Really on point across the board. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, have a beautiful day. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more. Don't forget to become a member.